Hi everybody, this is Amanda Ellis of amandaellis.co.uk and Facebook page Angelic Celestial Colours. I'm really thrilled to say that my Facebook page got 2,000 likes on Valentine's Day. So to celebrate that and just to say a massive thank you to all the people that subscribe both to my Facebook page and to my YouTube channel. I just want to do another reading for you for February. And it's been an interesting day, I have to say. It's ending much better than it started. Not that there was anything particularly wrong with the start of it, but I'm sure you can all relate to that feeling when you wake up in the morning. There's nothing particularly wrong, but there is just this inherent maybe heaviness, sadness within you. And I'm always aware when I wake up that sometimes I can be like that, and I pull myself out of it. I use my spiritual tools to do that. Which is what I've done today. I feel a lot better. As soon as you start connecting with Metatron, it lifts. I also took myself shopping, and I didn't want to do the normal thing of, retail shopping and buying some clothes or makeup or jewellery, all of which I love. I was with my teenage daughter. So I took myself off into a spiritual shop. I bought two fantastic new CDs, which I haven't played yet. I don't even know where they are. One is linked to, oh, here they are actually. Yeah, I chose this. One is Temple in the Forest, Higher Consciousness Music by David Nigal. Really want that sort of to help me link into the elements of air and obviously the forest itself, the earth. And then I've got this other one which is called The Way of the Ocean, obviously with sounds of the sea and, well, I don't know, I haven't listened to it yet, but they just both called me. So that's sort of linking into the elemental work that I'm doing this year. And I also bought myself a new deck of cards, and I'm a sucker for oracle cards. I have a lot of them. And of course, it's getting nearer to the day, hopefully, when we're going to be publishing the Metatron Oracle deck as well. And I know that when that is published, I will probably do some online courses and some workshops in person as well, helping people to understand how they can use them as well. But I thought I'd just start off today by actually showing you maybe how to approach a new deck of oracle cards, how to work with them, and then just to do a reading for the month ahead from today's date, which is the 16th of February. So we're sort of over the Valentine's Day energy. We're into the second half of the month. Collectively, things are very difficult out there in the wider world. There's an awful lot of fear and negativity and bad news around, and we can't just put our head in the sand and pretend it's not happening. It is happening. It does affect us individually as well. So we've really got to pull out all our stops and use our spiritual truths, I think that's the right word, to help us and sustain us through this period. Anyway, let's go back to the Oracle deck. And as I say, the one that I chose today is this one, Wisdom of the Higher Realms by Colette Baron Reid. It's not a lady that I know anything about her work in particular. I've seen one of her decks of cards before. I always go on the energy. That's what I go on. So it's a bit like picking up a crystal, picking up a colour bottle. For me, it's all to do with the energy of it. And I know whether it feels right or whether it feels wrong. And this deck felt very right to me today. And it's the one that I chose. So I've obviously not had time to read there's a very thorough little booklet that comes with it, which is fantastic. That's hopefully what I will have with my deck as well. And, I'm sure the messages that go with all of the cards are fantastic, and I will have time to digest that going forward, but I haven't today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bless this pack of cards, this oracle deck, which is what I would always encourage you to do whenever you get a new oracle deck, to dedicate them to the energy that you work with. So obviously for me it's Archangel Metatron, and probably for you also if you're watching this. And then we're going to pull 3 cards and ask Archangel Metatron to steer us through the next couple of weeks. Okay, so first thing, just get the deck of cards in your hand, very much like you would a crystal. Put your palm chakras underneath and on top of it as well. If you're a healer, you'll probably straight away start to feel the healing energy being transferred into them, the energy that you work with. So I'm just now imagining and asking Archangel Metatron to come through, for his energy to come through my higher chakras into my crown and body, flowing down through me, integrating and flowing particularly over my shoulders, down my arms, into my hands, into my palms. And as that happens, his energy starts to infuse through all of the cards in this deck, and it's a 44 card deck. So each of the 44 cards to please be blessed with your energy, Archangel Metatron, and to help you allow me to channel through your messages of love and light in combination with the unique energy of this particular deck in its own right. Thank you. Okay, the other thing that's a very good thing to do when you get a new deck of cards is to, I mean, actually I had to physically separate each card in this deck. They were actually quite stuck together. I don't know whether that's because, excuse me, they've got like gold leaf on them. I'm not sure, but they were very clumped together. So I actually physically had to sort of wrestle them from each other. So, but it's a good idea just to literally go through each card, almost just acknowledging its presence, very much like if you were working with crystals or you were working with colour bottles, you would be acknowledging the presence of all the tools in that particular tool bag that you were using. So this is our tool today to connect with Metatron, and I'm going to ask him to tell me when to stop the deck, and we're going to choose the first 3 off the top of the deck, and he's telling me to stop there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, put the rest of them down, and we have these 3. Okay, so interesting, very interesting, because I've tried, this is the second attempt at making this video, and I was just playing around a little bit to start with. I wasn't sure if I was actually physically going to make a proper video, and I hadn't got to the 3rd card, which is the Ice Queen, but these 2 cards were in the other video as well. So these are definitely what we need to be looking at. So let's come back to Ice Queen. I'm going to go with the order that they came out first time round. And the first one was Gaia's Garden. Okay, so let me put that beautiful message up so that you can look at that. Gaia's Garden, it's a lady dressed in green, beautiful sunlight coming down through her crown chakra over her head. She's dressed in, the shade of green for me is important, it's lime green, connected into the heart chakra, connected into new beginnings and growth. Fertility also would be a really big energy with this card as well. But the words are fruition, abundance, and reaping what you sow. Now, I think it's not necessarily that February is a time to reap what you sow. This is more asking you to plant the seeds so that you reap you reap what you sow in summer and autumn months. And actually at her skirt here, these are conkers, okay? Conkers falling down at her skirt, implying autumn time. But it's true that whatever you are wanting to manifest this year, whatever your plans are, whatever your dreams are, whatever your ambitions are, whatever your hopes are, you have to start putting that into practice now. You have to start. If you imagine your life as a garden, this is the time where the garden needs to be ploughed, the weeds need to be taken out of the soil, you need to be choosing the seeds that you actually want to put into that soil to bloom in the time that they're meant to bloom. If you don't do that, you are not going to get a crop come July, August, or certainly into the autumn months. So this is quite a serious message, which is that it's saying work with the seasons, and I'm making this in the Northern Hemisphere. So this is our time where we're coming into late winter, starting to see some signs of springtime. Snowdrops, daffodils are all already out quite early actually. But it's very much a time to start thinking about, if you think about life metaphorically as a garden, what do I want my garden to look like come certainly 5-6 months hence? If you put no effort in whatsoever, you're not going to get what you want. It's as simple as that. So it's this thing about you reap what you sow. Equally, watch behaviours this month. You know, I feel a lot of us are being quite tested at the moment. We are having our buttons pressed by particular people, by particular situations that are around us. And, you know, I'm quite strong really on the fact, and I apply this to myself as well, that we can't compartmentalize our spiritual life and just sort of, I don't know, the old days, of course, with religion was, you know, you did it on a Sunday, you went to church, you said grace, and that was it for the week. this spiritual path just doesn't work like that. You have to be applying these truths and these principles that we're trying to live by every day of your life. And it's difficult. I know it's difficult, but it's saying you reap what you sow now. You know, would you be proud if you looked back in a few months' time at the behavior that you are displaying this February? Okay. I'm hearing that very strongly, okay? Looking at yourself, it's almost as though the time for scapegoats has gone in fifth dimensional consciousness. There's no such thing as passing the buck, blaming somebody else necessarily for our own behavior and our own shortcomings. It's up to us to be able to manage our own energy. And that is not easy. It's not easy every day to do that, but it is the truth of where we're heading and what we are asked to do. Okay, so sorry, I just need to link into Metatron here, who wants to remind me of something. And I'm actually going to use the lime green, which I think you can see if I put that up to the card, how perfectly that fits together. The energies just feel really, really relevant, don't they? And this is, again, this is the energy of the heart. So let's just see what Metatron has to say through the lime energy. Do as your heart would do in any situation, in any behavior, in any interaction, in any conversation. Your heart is an infinite well of love and higher consciousness. Will always help you choose the right path, the right words, the right actions, and the right behavior. The mind can become fogged by past experiences, perceptions, confusion, and stress. There is no stress that lies within the heart, within the deep well of the universal heart, and also your own personal heart connected to this. This is where truth resides, it's where love resides. Drop into your heart space whenever you feel challenged. And it's almost as though what I'm hearing Metatron say here is that, you know that old expression about if you're having your button pushed and you're about to say something, maybe you're feeling angry or frustrated, and people say count to 10, you know, just count to 10 and then your reaction is going to be different. Well, yeah, count to 10, but during that time as well, it's almost as though you're counting to 10 and you're dropping into your heart space. Does that make sense? So say you have somebody before you right now who is really triggering something in your life, something that's really making you uncomfortable, upset, sad, angry, frustrated, whatever the emotion is that you are, jealousy, whatever's coming up for you. Before you respond, you're being asked to count to 10. And as you get towards 10, each breath, each number takes you further into your heart space and away almost from ego state that is going to respond in a completely different way. Okay, so that feels a very strong message. So with Gaia's garden, again, also this need to get out in nature. I know a lot of you are watching in different places around the world, but certainly where I am, you know, it's cold, it's miserable, it's raining, there are gales, and, you know, the need to get out when it's a beautiful, bright, sunny day like it is today, and I did get out in it, is so important. Get out in nature. It will revive you. The second one that goes with it, the Rainbow Prince. Quite interested what Colette has actually written about the Rainbow Prince. I'm being told to read that message in a moment. But before I do that, I'd just like to link into what I'm feeling just from looking at the image and what Metatron is saying to me. So let me put it up close to the screen for you to tune in maybe in your own way as well. We've got the Rainbow Prince and we've got compensation and perseverance. So it sounds as though some of you have been on quite a long road. Perseverance, another word would be endurance, I suppose. But it doesn't feel like it's quite yet come. A bit like the autumn time and the fruits that are being planted now to bring in, as it were, later on in the year. This feels as though it's compensation that comes later on. I'm just being drawn to the fact that this figure, again, quite an androgynous figure, could be male, could be female, is naked, is completely in tune with his angelic self, with the wings on his back, is in a vulnerable state. And by that I mean it's as though he's really being able to just express and show himself as he really is. I wrote something on my Facebook page today about authenticity, and some of you will have read that. And it's a huge theme coming up with Metatron at the moment, for us to be authentic. What does that mean? Who are we really? When we strip away everything that people think about us, all the preconceived ideas, things we've done in the past, things we might have said, who are we now? Look in the mirror and see who you are now. And here, this man, I want to say, just appears as though he really is at peace with his authenticity. He's reaching up to the higher realms for guidance and insight, and for light and colour in particular that are flowing down into his open hands to receive. He's linked up to the higher realms, the galaxies above. You know, this isn't just the angelic realm, this is galactic help as well that is available to him. And yeah, it is galactic in nature. If you look at the image here, that looks like the cosmos to me. It links into the cosmos. Again, one of Jane's paintings links into that particular scene. In fact, it's behind me and I'm being told to get it, so I will. Excuse me one moment. So whereas Gaia's Garden had a spray that went with it, Rainbow Prince, it's turning the right way up, has this image that goes with it. Okay, so this is the galactic image for Metatron, and it's linked in particularly to the throat chakra, the need to express ourselves, communicate, open up to the wonders of the universe, and remembering that we are all of that, you know, that we are from the stars and the outer galaxies, and there is so much help out there for us. Beautiful, beautiful energy of that painting, isn't it? And maybe you just want to soak that up, actually, because it just feels to me that it feels refreshing is the word that I'm getting, as though we all need to be almost like washed new again. You know, we've all picked up a bit of earthly, well, crud is the word I'm getting. Just earthly dross, you know, it's sort of like, it's out there in society. I alluded to it before, you know, the fear, the negativity, you know, we all wade through it, and we can protect ourselves and filter it out, but to a degree some of it gets through. But when you really link in to your true authentic self and where you came from, my goodness, the world is a magical place, and you're always able to rebirth in any moment with this sort of energy. Okay, so let's put that down, and I'm actually now going to just read the words that do go with our Rainbow Prince card. So let me just find, it's number 26. This is where I should have put my glasses on and not been so vain. So excuse me, I can't read it properly. There we go, there's the card. When the Rainbow Prince appears as your ally, he reminds you about the law of compensation and the law of receiving. After the rainstorm you've endured on your journey, the Rainbow Prince brings you a pot of gold, which is the result of your using all the elements of your inner light and reaching into the sky until you touch the material realm from one end to the other. This isn't always an easy process, and hard work must be rewarded by compensation. When you align yourself with the energy of giving the highest value, your compensation is inherent in the act itself. But the message here is more than that. The Rainbow Prince says to keep your sights on the sky after the rainstorms that may have upset your life. Follow your bliss to the pot of gold waiting for you. Perseverance pays off, and your reward will be greater than you can imagine. The Rainbow Prince is telling you that you need to address how committed you are to your path. Have you been giving of yourself only as a means to control the situation? His gentle advice is to practice giving fully of yourself. Devote all your attention when you're with someone and be completely present in all areas of your life. When you do so, you will receive more than you're trying to get by being the way you are now. It ties into something I was saying to a client yesterday. It was another video actually online, an angel reading by angelsouls.com. Michelle, can't remember her second name. And she was talking about this thing which I so agree with, which is about if we could only get out of the way. A lot of the time we have these perceptions of how we want our life to be and what we think is the ultimate ideal for us at any one time. And because they're so fixed a lot of the time in terms of what we think we want, it blocks what spirit and the universe actually really want to give us, which is more than we can ever imagine. It's more than we can ever imagine in our wildest dreams. But we block it by constantly wanting the answers, seeking the answers, and then imposing almost like a desired scenario the whole time. Whereas if we could just get out of the way and almost surrender, a bit like this prince is here, and just say, almost like I want to say here, I'm getting the words, thy will be done, okay? Thy will be done. In earth as it is in heaven. It's this whole, and that's such an important line from the Lord's Prayer, which is basically saying this is the divine law, you know, as it is in heaven, so shall it be on earth, which is thy will be done. It's not my way will be done. It's not your way will be done. It's thy will be done. There is a divine consciousness which is actually working for you, not against you. But you and me, we are all the ones that get in the way of that a lot of the time. So that's something just to be thinking about, where you're getting in the way of your own progress. If you're too fixed on a particular idea or ideal of where you think you want to be, can we just loosen it all up a little bit? Particularly when we link it into this card, which is the one that talks about now is the time to be thinking about what you want to reap. You know, almost what I would like to, do you know what I'm being shown here is, if you think about the analogy that Metatron was talking about at the start of, think about a garden that you're planting this year. It's almost as though, rather than, let's just take the analogy as far as it will go, rather than thinking, okay, I want pansies, I want daffodils, I want roses, and I want them in this formation, I want them to this height, I want them to have that scent and this colour, and for them to grow in these particular months when I'm at home and I'm not on holiday, okay? Rather than that scenario, it's almost as though you buy a beautiful pack of seeds, which are maybe wildflowers or something, and you just sprinkle them, and you just then surrender that to the universe, to the elements, and you say, I trust that what I'm sowing will be beautiful, will be for the highest good of myself and all who will be enjoying that space, which is effectively my life. You know, everybody that comes into contact with me, as well as myself, you know the heights of the flowers, you know the varieties that need to be in my garden, you know the scents that really are going to bring me the greatest joy, and they're scents that I haven't even necessarily smelt before, you know, they're colours that I haven't necessarily seen before. Are you sort of understanding the analogy here that Metatron is giving? So he's saying, sure, plant seeds, think about what you want for the future, but don't make it too fixed. Actually, and sometimes this can be, you know, people that do vision boards a lot. There's nothing wrong with vision boards per se, but again, don't get too fixed on, you know, these are the images for this year, because actually what that's doing is it's blocking out the unexpected. It's, you know, for me, if I was doing a vision board now, and I've done them in the past, at the centre of my vision board would be a great big question mark with almost like, universe, please answer this, you know, for me. Surrender, my highest good, bring in whatever it is that I deserve to receive or learn or whatever it is. So those two go perfectly together. The third card, let's put it up and let's just tune into it together. Okay, the Ice Queen. Ideas preserved, non-action and entitlement. Okay, well, yeah, this goes completely actually with the other two. Maybe this should almost have gone as the first card actually in retrospect. The Ice Queen, there she is lying in the snow, beautiful, intact, pretty perfect in a lot of ways. She's put ideas out there. Okay, I'm hearing Metatron in my ear here telling me what to say. Right, what he's saying is, this is like the gardener that sows the seeds, maybe even does it completely correctly in the way that we've just said in terms of surrendering it and all the rest of it, but then thinks they need to do nothing else whatsoever. Oh gosh, yes, I think we all know this one to a degree. So often, again, it comes back to a lot of this comes back to ego. You know, a lot of it comes back to our own ego, and of course we all have ego. It's part of the human condition. You can't get away from it, like you can't get away from your own shadow. You have to sort of make friends with your ego and sort of laugh at it a little bit and just, you know, be at peace with it. It is what it is. But it's almost as though there's a bit of arrogance coming through with this card. There's a bit of arrogance, and it uses the word entitlement then. You know, it's almost as though I've done everything I need to do, the rest will just take care of itself. You know, I've worked hard enough, so I deserve the harvest that's coming in. No, it doesn't work like that. You know, it's to do with planting the seeds, standing back, letting the universe come in and do its job, but you still have things to do in the interim. You know, you still have to maintain a degree of positivity and energy, keep the energy alive. It's a fine balancing act, to be honest, between not meddling too much and doing what she's doing here, which is just almost like, well, I've asked, you know, I know it's coming, and so therefore I'm just going to take a holiday for 4 months. I'm exaggerating, but I think you get the gist of it. So don't be as the Ice Queen in terms of just feeling entitled. I need to pull another card with that one. I want to see what follows, what's number 4, because actually we've got 3 cards here, and of course 4 is the number of the builder, and it is also the number of solidity, and it's like the square, isn't it? So I feel like I need a 4th card here just to make sense, because these 3 all go together. Okay, Metatron, please tell me when to stop. Please tell me when to stop. Look at that. The Winged Wise Ones, Angelic Help, Miraculous Aid, 34. Okay, let me tune into this. And I need the white energy for this. If you look at the card, there's a lot of white energy there. So I'm going to use my white spray to help me tune into the message of that one, which isn't immediately apparent over and above, obviously, what it says to me. Okay, so Angelic Help, Miraculous Aid. Let's link into white. This is the white purification spray. Again, can you see it goes very beautifully with this card energy. I'm hearing 2 words very strongly. One is prayer, and the other is gratitude. Gratitude for all that we already have. Gratitude for the fact that we even have a garden in which to plant our seeds. And by that, I'm talking about gratitude for the life that we have, the opportunities that are there for each of us, the opportunity to grow and learn and blossom, which does not stop until the day you die. Whatever circumstance you find yourself in life, there is always, always the ability to grow, learn and blossom. So gratitude feels important for that. Gratitude for the life that we have. Gratitude for the seeds that we've got, the ideas in our head, the creativity that comes up from our sacral, the energy that we have within us to even plant the seeds in the first place, the gift of life. And then to be grateful for what comes as a result of planting our ideas, our plans. Knowing that it will happen with angelic assistance. We're not asked to do it on our own necessarily. It comes in with angelic assistance at the right time and in the right way. And it can be, as the title says here, miraculous. We also heard the word prayer, didn't we? So the angels, as I've always understand them, are ones that carry our prayers to heaven. In particular, Archangel Sandalphon is known as the archangel that carries our prayers to heaven. And so therefore, when we are waiting, when we are maybe in limbo state, when things haven't quite turned out the way we want to, the harvest hasn't yet quite come in, you're able to still pray, you know, you're not praying to the angels, you're praying to God, but the angels are the one that take your prayers to God. So a time for prayer as well, or meditation, whatever works for you, is important at this time as well. I want to choose one card here, finally. I'm aware we're at 31 minutes, which is just for the state of our world, okay? So coming away from the personal, this is the state of our world in February and some guidance for us. And here I'm thinking about all the things that are happening around our world that are deeply upsetting and challenging many of us at this time, making many people not want to even look at it because it's so ghastly. Asking here for some guidance, please, as to how to cope with that. And I'm being told to stop here. I love these cards, aren't they beautiful? And aren't they unusual? I think that's why I really liked them. I like the unusual language that they've got with them, and I like the colours and the images that she's chosen here. So we've got the hungry ghosts, obsessions, scarcity consciousness, and attachment. Oh my goodness, how applicable is that to what I've just asked for help with? Can you see that those three energies, obsession, security consciousness and attachment, are all, they're like energies that suck the life out and the love and the light out of our planet. Scarcity consciousness, poverty consciousness, the belief that there isn't enough to go round, that the earth cannot feed its populace. Therefore, some of us have to accumulate more. You know, we have to keep accumulating more and more to make us safe, whilst others have nothing. Obsessions. Actually, what I'm being told here by obsessions is think about what the world is obsessed by at the moment. I can only speak from a Western culture perspective because I come from a Western culture. And I look with despair, actually, at what the younger generation, I'm bringing up a younger generation. I've got 2 girls in my home. You know, what their peers can be obsessed by, you know, the celebrity, the idolization of celebrity for celebrity's sake. Fine if that celebrity has got something worth celebrating, has got something for the collective good, is an entertainer, is, I don't know, intelligent, is a fantastic sportsman, but so much of the time, and I'm not going to name names here, but so much of who we celebrate and who we put up and who we're obsessed by, you know, the latest comings and goings of so-and-so's life, and it's all splashed on the front pages. Who cares? There's so much energy given to that that could be given to something else. It needs to change. And I think it will change, actually, because I think we will be forced to change. There are going to be things that come in that make us really stand up and realise that we are united as brothers and sisters around the world and that things are more important. But that's for another time. What else have we got here? Scarcity consciousness, I've covered. Attachment. What are we attached to? We're attached as a world. You know, we're all, you and I, even if we're on our spiritual path, we're linked into Metatron, we're still part of the human race. We still have within us this DNA that has come through from generation after generation. You know, thousands of years of histories within our DNA. And it is the history of war, bloodshed and fighting. And we have to let it go. We have to lose our attachment to power and overinflated ego. So that's, you know, this is a difficult card, but then again, I'm not surprised it's a difficult card because it's a difficult time for our world. Let's ask Metatron what comes in. What comes in afterwards? What comes in afterwards, Metatron? The spiral dancer. I can't even say that word. Circular route, I think is what it says. Perception. Over and above the words, I'm looking at the word spiral. The spiral is the cycle of life, isn't it? And creation. So it's almost as though we're being asked to dive into the vortex and recreate something amazing for the next generation. I'm looking at the image of the lady here who's very glamorous and sensual, and she reminds me of the divine feminine energy that is coming in to try to help heal our world. And don't forget, men have the divine feminine consciousness within themselves as well. Before I picked that card, interesting, I hadn't realised I was doing it, but I was lifting my my right foot was spontaneously coming off the floor. I was lifting my right foot up and I suddenly thought, what the hell am I doing that for? But of course, the right side of our body is our masculine side. And it's almost as though we don't let go of the masculine, because of course the masculine is so important. It will always be part of the human species. But it's letting go of the overtly masculine stance and knee-jerk reaction that sometimes we can have, and allowing this soft, delicate, feminine energy to come in and actually nurture the earth and rebirth it again. So, hope you've enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing that, and I enjoyed looking at these cards. So thank you very much for Colette Baron Reid's work in producing them, because I know what a huge job that is, because I'm doing it myself with my own deck. And I really look forward to the day in the not too distant future where I'll be doing that with the Metatron deck as well, and we'll be having lots of fun with that. So lots of love, everybody. As I say, thank you so much for all the support with all my work. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the subscriptions on my Facebook page. Angelic Celestial Colours, and that's spelt the European way with a U in colours for some of my American clients who text me and say, I can't find you, where are you? Angelic Celestial Colours, and also people obviously viewing me on YouTube. Thanks very much. Love you all. Lots of love. Bye-bye.